Well, we're here talking contracts. Actually, I'm not talking contracts. This is Nicholas. He's going to do it.
Yes.
What do you guys, what do you handle for folks? What do folks who need contracts done, what do they need to be thinking about? Just fill us in.
Yes. Well, first off, the power of contract goes back to the dawn of mankind. If you're looking at the earliest written records, there's only a couple categories: spiritual text, law, accounting, and contracts.
Wow.
Notice how 2 out of the 4 are in the legal realm. And when it comes to agreements, essentially, as humans, we are social animals. We're going around making agreements all the time, whether it's with our spouse saying we'll be home for dinner, whether it's our kids, we're going to play with them tonight, or in a business context, whether we have some sort of value exchange where we'll provide you value, in exchange, you provide some financial remuneration. And when it comes to business, it turns out it's just contract upon contract upon agreement upon agreement upon agreement. And technically speaking, you can make a handshake deal and it counts. And people do that all the time. The challenge is if something goes awry, or memories change, or additions appear, or some monkey wrench comes in, and if you don't have it written, now you're up for some serious issues. And I've seen contracts as simple as a half a page. I've seen clients come to me and say, we're doing $100,000 transactions on handshakes all the time. We've done it for years. And that's fantastic. It's one of those things that, do we need insurance? I don't know. When things go wrong, you are grateful that they did. And so when we have the written version of the agreement, the contract, which again goes back to the dawn of mankind, which we inherited from the British law, the dawn of the US. In fact, the US was created with 3 contracts. Did you know that, Ray?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, 3 contracts that made us a country. Number 1, the Declaration of Independence. We declare that we are free.
That's correct.
Number 2, the Constitution. These are our rules as a country. And then number 3, it was the Treaty of Versailles, where a world power recognized you are a country versus us just saying we're a country and no, you're not. And when France recognized us, that was the 3rd contract that created the U.S.
And that's a great Jeopardy question there, the 3rd one there. That's great.
That's right.
So let's talk about then, what are the phases of creating a contract? And you guys get involved in all of them, and you've got to draft the thing, you got to, take us through that. Take us through a contract.
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. Well, I want to just also remind that generally there's 5 categories of contracts in a business setting. It's the contract with the owners. It could be an operating agreement, shareholder agreement, partnership agreement. Contract with your team. Could be W-2, could be 1099. Contract with your clients. All sorts of agreements there. Contract with your suppliers and your vendors. And then finally, there's an agreement and contract with the world, where if you have a website, if you have social media, and there's vast numbers of people looking at what you do, there are terms of service, privacy policies. These are contracts that you opt in. And I'm sure you've seen it before. I get these notifications all the time when Facebook or Google or my bank emails me, says, guess what? The contract has changed. If you object, you can leave the service because you must comply. And so that's an interesting element where integrity comes in. And so we can create these contracts with all 5 of those categories.
And so how does it work then? Again, I need a contract with my client. What are we going through? How are you helping me through that? What are you doing?
We get these calls all the time. And in fact, just had a call recently is an accountant that has an engagement agreement, which is their services agreement with their clients. And being an accountant, there's not only the specifics of we're going to provide these services, there's also we're not doing this and we're disclaiming this. And there's IRS code that we need to disclose. And so the client called me up and said, listen, I want to have a simple contract. I want to be protected from all the IRS issues. I want to clarify, these are our services, 1, 2, 3. I want to make it clear, we don't do this. We don't do this. And usually the conversation goes, like, well, why? Like, well, how many people are asking me, I need you to do this, and then I have to have that tough conversation. We don't do that. And then the clients say, well, that's ridiculous. Well, let's just avoid that. And so the client has a conversation with us and we ask the right questions. What do you need? What do you want to see in there? What is the tone of the agreement? What are the legal laws that are compliant? AKA, whatever the law that governs your business, your industry, there's certain things we need to do within the law. Maybe we're in real estate and there's certain municipal regulations. Maybe we're an accountant and there's IRS. Maybe we're in the food space and there's FDA compliance. And so we make sure, are we achieving the need? Are we focused on the value exchange? Are we ensuring we're navigating those legal details governing this business? And then finally, it's the tone. Some clients want it to be very professional. Some want it to be very short and sweet. Some clients want it to be more friendly, informal. And we can create any level of detail that satisfies not only the need of the legal, but also creates almost a marketing component, since this is a client-facing document.
That is really interesting. I've never heard anybody talk about that, the tone of a legal contract. Mm-hmm. We've all had those, sometimes it's like, oh, this is scary.
Yes, that's
like,
right.
You scare me.
Exactly.
I hate this guy.
Exactly.
That's right. One last thing then, just real quickly. So what are the steps of doing a contract?
Well, the steps are to identify that you have a need.
Yep.
Then give us a call. And then we'll talk about it on your free consultation.
That's nice.
And then usually we'll determine, all right, we need this contract. Here's the specific things. After that, we'll send you a detailed written proposal explaining this is what we're going to do. We're going to create that contract, make it look and sound like this, incorporate these details. And here's one fee, the flat fee. That's it. That is the investment that you make for this legal to have this document forever. And then we go about, get it done. And then once we get it done, we'll send it to the client and the client has an opportunity to review. And usually this looks great, or maybe, let's tweak this, or, I didn't think about that. And again, how we operate is unlimited conversations, unlimited revisions.
That's part of that flat fee.
That is part of that flat fee.
Very nice.
So until it's done and until the client is 100% satisfied, the project's not done. The contract's not done. And so we do it until 100% satisfaction. And then voila, a beautiful final contract that can be used and used and used hundreds of times.